People have read it. What movie traumatized you as a kid? Not the whole movie, but the flying monkeys in The Wizard of Oz terrified me as a child. The Wicked Witch was a little much too. I read once when they were filming the movie, no one would eat with the actress who played the witch when she was in full character makeup and dress. I guess she was terrifying to them too, just in look. Chucky. After the movies with him, I had nightmares that all my toys were alive and wanted to kill me. Fucking Chucky. Willy Wonka's boat ride is up there. To be fair, that scene is batshit crazy. I blocked it out as a kid. Watching it again as a teenager, I couldn't believe that made the cut for a kid's movie. Yeah, my mom had VHS tapes of IT, The Exorcist, Hellraiser, etc., and I all secretly watched them way too young, but they just don't compare to that madness, Elmau. That scene didn't bother me as much as the violet turning into a blueberry scene. My first introduction into body horror. I don't know if traumatized, but E.T. throwing the ball back was scary as fuck. That part never scared me. It's the part where they find E.T. by the water and he's white and dying. That's the most disturbing part. It's not that it's traumatizing, it's just that it's sad. Yes, this part terrified me, and then the scene with Elliot and all that plastic. E.T. for me, specifically when the guys in hazmat suits took him. I was mortified by how they treated him. E.T. in general was scary as fuck. Like, I know maybe they didn't want to make him too endearing or traditionally cute, but there are other options than walking ballsack. Oddly, the first Gremlins. I distinctly remember her telling the story about what happened to her family on Christmas Eve and thought, WTF? This was a really fun movie until that story she told. It was the gremlin exploding in the microwave that traumatized me. I hate recurring nightmares for years as a kid involving that scene, the scene in the pool and a few others, and I had no recollection of watching the movie at all, or that it was even from a movie, but it'd just pop into my dreams every couple of months, so not often enough to be a problem, and I thought it was just a random thing my mind made up. Then one day when I was a bit older, the movie came on TV again and I just had this, oh my goodness, it's real, I didn't imagine it moment. And then the nightmares stopped. Because they're actually quite funny movies when you're older, but I have no idea why my parents let 5 or 6-year-old me watch them, especially since I was super obsessed with plushies. What made them think letting me watch what was effectively a cute plushie turning into a creepy monster that multiplies was a good idea? That movie was a major contributing factor to the establishment of the PG-13 rating in the United States, along with an Indiana Jones movie. Pee-wee's Big Adventure, the Large Marge scene. So absurdly out of place in tone for the movie that it scared the pants off me as a kid when I first saw it. Yes, this freaked me the fuck out as a kid. There was this sound like a garbage truck dropped off the Empire State Building. The 1973 Exorcist. I was about to reply with that exact name. I was scared for weeks, refusing to sleep without the light on and refusing to be left alone. I grew up in a religious household and I was convinced that I will be next in line to be possessed. My older sister had a bunch of friends over for a Halloween party. I was probably 10. Of course, I wanted to hang out with my older sister's friends. They were watching The Exorcist, and I wanted to seem cool, brave, so I watched it with them. I cannot understate how much that decision fucked me up for probably 2 years. I could not sleep. I was completely obsessed with the thought that I would be possessed by the devil at any moment. There was no escaping it. Do you realize how fucked up it is as a 10-year-old to go through every waking moment of every single day with that feeling? No matter what I did, I could not shake it. I can honestly say that movie ruined a good chunk of my childhood. Looking back on it is kind of hilarious. At around 17 years old, I decided to rewatch it, which even at that age made me incredibly nervous. But in the end, it was totally cathartic for me to watch it again, with a new perspective and even laugh it off. Luckily, now I am a totally well-adjusted 35-year-old. I was a teenager when I saw The Exorcist and remember sleeping with my bedroom lights on for months afterwards. Watership Down was shown in the kids program because cartoons equals kids. Nightmare on Elm Street. Watched when I was 13. Yep, I could not sleep. I just barely saved my kids from Watership Down. I dropped them off at the in-laws for an overnight and was making my way toward the door. They were all getting ready to watch a movie and my FIL was scrolling Netflix or whatever when he stops and says, "Here we go, let's watch the bunny movie." I glance over to see the info page for Watership Down and was like, nope, not that one, trust me. Arachnophobia. I wouldn't eat popcorn, especially from a bowl, for a long time after seeing this movie. Poltergeist, 1982. This is the movie that traumatized me. Everyone talks about how scary the clown was, but the tree was what really got me. I'm almost 36 and still feel uneasy if I have to sleep in a room with a tree outside. Edit. I'm glad it's not just my husband and I who were traumatized by that scene. I remember when we first started dating my coworkers and I were talking about that movie and they were teasing me for being scared of the tree scene. I ended up texting my now husband to ask if he has ever seen the movie Poltergeist without any other context, and he immediately replied, "Yes, that fucking tree still terrifies me." And then my coworkers started teasing him too, haha. The tree was scary, but the part that scared me is the scene where the dude goes in the bathroom and his face starts sloughing off in the mirror. The TV was what got me. That 12 a.m. fuzz and her speaking from the other side through the television. Terrifying. Same. Then the next horror movie I watched after that was The Ring when I was 11 or 12, which further solidified my fear of statusy TVs. When the guy ripped his face apart in the bathroom. Yeah, no thank you. Scary. The Brave Little Toaster. The whole movie was like a fever dream, but the AC scene, that shit stuck with me and might have affected who I am today. What really hit me hard was the junkyard scene, all the sad things sobbing about how they were loved and left. To this day, there are toys and stuffed animals I've had since childhood that I refuse to throw away, or even give away, because of that part. Luckily, I have kids of my own now. It warms my heart seeing them play with my old toys and sleeping with my remaining stuffed animals. Peas, I'm a dad. You're not a true millennial if you weren't traumatized by that scene as a kid. My sister and I watched Coraline while waiting in a dentist's office. Need I say more? At least it wasn't in the ophthalmologist's office, but still probably a funny experience. My dentist put on The Exorcist around Halloween one year, and he was making comments about it in different voices until his assistant yelled at him and made him find something else. I was also sedated, nitrous oxide, and it was really freaking me out, but hilarious. He put on competition of dogs doing the agility classes and let me sober up. 5-10 minutes with just oxygen, test your blood pressure. But I couldn't watch the whole event. Kinda missed that dentist. The Truman Show. Existential crisis lasted years. This movie deserves a deeper suspense, thriller, or even horror remake. I mean, the guy finds out that nobody or nothing is real. His entire world is crafted, that God is a TV producer, and the moon is a studio. It's absolute nightmare fuel. As an adult, it's a great metaphor for me leaving a controlling religion I grew up in for 26 years. The Truman Show is important and somewhat comforting to me, but I can also see how terrifying it is. The fucking never-ending story. I've now seen the whole thing, but still never all the way through in one sitting. Fuck that fucking terrifying movie. Signs. During that scene when Joaquin Phoenix is watching the video from Latin America and the alien steps out during the party, I about shit my pants. I was afraid of aliens and crop circles for years after that. I later watched it as an adult and realized I missed the entire point of the plot story, which was challenging Mel Gibson's character's faith. But I couldn't help but notice how much M. Night was trying to copy Hitchcock throughout the film. Same. The first time I saw it, I thought it was a movie about aliens and the story of the family that happens to be there. Then I saw it again several years later and started realizing that the title Signs doesn't refer only to the signs in the crops. Now I've watched it about 20 times, and every single time I watch it, I see a new tiny detail that I missed the previous time. For example, last time I watched it, I noticed this. At the beginning of the movie, Mel Gibson refuses to take the dog to the vet. He's visible upset about it, and you don't know why. Later on, he goes to Ray Reddy's house, and you see a mailbox or a post or something stating Ray is the vet of the town. Two little details that tell you part of the story behind, but no one mentions them. You have to put two and two together by yourself. It's a freaking masterpiece, in my opinion. The Mummy. Only when the bugs started crawling under people's skin. Looks fake as hell and kinda silly now, but back then it made me hide behind the couch. Bambi. They shot his mom. The movie has a murder and an orphan crying for his dead mommy. Come on, Disney, I mean, really? Edit. Reworded to be more accurate on the timing of the murder of Bambi's mother. Thanks for the correction, everyone. The Ring. I was in 7th grade when this came out. Waking up after falling asleep to a VCR movie to the salt and pepper on the screen had me absolutely terrified. Jumanji. I had to stop watching after the kid got sucked into the board game at the beginning. Then I went back a while later and there's fucking giant wasps flying around. Nope. I have since seen the whole film and it's really good, but that first experience was at least 20 years ago, and I still remember it. The kid transforming into a monkey gave me the heebie-jeebies for a long time. Jaws. I'm a pool person now. I Am Legend. Wasn't the zombies was what happened to the dog? 13 Ghosts. 38. And this one did some damage. Watched it once and I stand firm on the fact that this one is why I don't watch scary movies to this day. I feel that emotional damage, lol. I watch even more horror movies, but they don't have the same effect as 13 Ghosts. Funny enough, horrors have become more of a comedy genre now. I don't mind psychological horrors, but I hate jump scares. My anxiety already lives at level 90. I don't need it to be any higher. For some reason, the psychological ones don't do that to me. If you made it to the end of the video, tap the like button and hit the bell icon next to the subscribe button to be notified of our next upload. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.